As you said, the stakes of the coming months are incredibly high, not only for Southern Sudan, but for the entire country as well and for the region. We must do all we can to ensure that the referendum is held on time and that it is held fairly and peacefully, and we must help the Southern Sudanese to get a handle on the many security, development, and governance challenges before them. At the same time, we have to be ready for all possible scenarios, including one in which the National Congress Party seeks to destabilize or disrupt the agreed-upon process at the same time that it escalates the crisis in Darfur or foot drags on efforts to bring about peace. I've expressed concern at different times, including during the run-up to last month's election, that the administration has not spoken out more forcefully about the abuses by the NCP or sought to hold them accountable. And although I am not opposed to engagement, we need to be firm and to be sure that any engagement is based on actual evidence that the NCP is willing to cooperate and has made concrete progress on previous problems. So, General, let me ask you a few questions. In your discussions with the NCP, what have you conveyed would be the consequences if they take actions to disrupt the referendum process? Have you prepared a way in which we would act in that scenario?
Obviously, these are decisions that would have to be made through the process, a decision-making process that goes through the National Security Council. But certainly, we've been very clear that we will not tolerate obstacles or roadblocks or messing with the referendum. We believe that it needs to happen on time, and we believe it needs to happen in a way that reflects the will of the people. And so rigging, messing with, or destabilizing would be things that we would condemn, and there would be consequences that are negative. We believe also that when it comes to applying these pressures, that if we can get a community of nations to work with us, that these pressures will be more effective when the international community is on board. And that's why we're working very hard to make sure that the international community is seized with this issue, that they also understand the importance of the referenda, and that they are partners with us, so that when it comes time to apply pressures, when it comes time to make sure that this referenda goes forward, that it's the whole international community that brings pressure to bear on the North.
Appreciate what you said, but my question was, what would the possible consequences be, and are we in the process of preparing, or have we prepared a scenario if they act this way? I don't want to just hear about what the process would be. I want to know if it's happening. Are we ready?
We are ready. These discussions take place in the administration and the National Security Council, and certainly have been taking place in the State Department. Many of these things, for obvious reasons, are things that we don't talk about in public, and we'd be very happy to come up here, as we have in the past, to brief the staffs on the options that we have available, should the scenarios warrant.
Well, I appreciate that some of this shouldn't be shared in this setting, but is there anything you can share with regard to the types of consequences that this government may suffer if they mess around with this situation?
Well, obviously what they want is to be unyoked from sanctions, to get legitimacy, to move into the circle of nations that are respected. And so to take that away would be a big thing. You know, in other words, to condemn, to further isolate, to marginalize them would be something that I believe would have a strong effect. But the range beyond that of things that we can do is great, and they include things that we have briefed with your staff, but we can give you more specifics on that.